So back in 2016, Lindsay and I were blessed with having our first child. Bailey was born in June, and frankly, everything went really well. Smooth process. The hospital was great. We were at the Civic, and it was like, I wouldn't say it was no big deal, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, especially not for you.
It was not a big deal for me, that's right. This past year in February 2019, we had our second child, Zoe was born. And it was a much more complicated birth. Lindsay had an emergency C-section, and it was really, really challenging. And after Zoe was born, Lindsay and Zoe were taken in the recovery room, and it was really stressful.
I felt terrible because I wasn't expecting to have an emergency C-section. I don't think anybody is ever planning that. And I felt very not myself, and it was definitely stressful for all of us.
And after Lindsay and I went home and things kind of settled down, we had a newborn, so I don't think anything was overly settled down. Lindsay and I began to reflect and do a bit of a retrospective on how things went.
Giving birth to a child is an incredibly, it's an experience full of highs and lows. And if it's your first child, it's really scary. Sometimes if it's also your second or third child, it can be really scary. So anything to make the mom and anyone visiting the mom and the baby be comfortable, I think is so incredibly important.
I didn't feel that I could be a great partner to Lindsay if I wasn't necessarily taking care of myself. Sort of put your own oxygen mask on first before you put on the mask of the person next to you. And I just randomly said, hey, it would have been great if there was a place where I could have just caught my breath for a minute or two so that I could then come and be a better partner and a better husband and a better support system for you. And Lindsay, as she always does, says, well, if you're gonna complain about it, why don't you do something about it?
We had a sense of responsibility to help improve the experience of other people at the hospital. I really do care deeply about making the community a better place for everybody, and there's so many different ways to do that. Giving can also mean giving your time. It can mean, there's many, many different ways to give. And I think particularly when it comes to things that affect you personally, giving it's not just important for the community, it's important for us as well. And it is a contribution to yourself in that way, if that makes sense.
Well, you're to live in the community, and so it is absolutely a contribution to yourself. If you want to live in a better community, go and make it better. That's it.